Hello everyone, I want to welcome you to this video where I'm going to be showing you how to become an info product operator and earn $30,000 to $100,000 a month or more working with only a few clients in the most lean, efficient, highly profitable business model that I have ever seen. In 2024, self-education is growing faster and is in more demand than it has ever been. And this has created the best way to make ridiculous money online that has ever existed. Billions of dollars are flowing from the hands of consumers to the pockets of online coaches, teachers, and what many call gurus. Forbes reports that the self-education space is expected to be worth over $500 billion in the year 2024. And since the events of 2020,
breaking news, stay at home. That is the order tonight from
people are waking up to the system and realizing that it is not designed in their favor. They go to college, they get a degree, they get a 9-to-5, and they work until retirement. And the masses are starting to wake up to this as well. LinkedIn even reports that they're seeing people looking for new ways to learn practical, real-world skills and get ahead in their respective fields. So instead of learning from college professors, they want to learn from experienced practitioners and gurus, in many cases, experientially and through forms of digital mentorship rather than from theory-based teachers. Instead of learning business from a college professor with no track record, people are opting to learn from the entrepreneur that sells a $5,000 program. Instead of learning health science from overweight teachers, people are opting to learn from the pro bodybuilder. And instead of learning to trade on Wall Street, people are opting to learn from professional traders. Selling informational products is not only a great thing for the average person, it is the greatest business model ever. It's high margin, it's highly scalable, and its lean service delivery lets you focus on sales and marketing, meaning you can spend all of your time growing the business instead of fulfilling the business. Instead of having to sell physical products or perform services, you can simply sell information that achieves some sort of outcome for somebody. Consumers love this because information is becoming more accessible and much cheaper. Instead of going hundreds of thousands of dollars into debt, you can now learn from a multimillionaire for $5,000 to $10,000 or less. And this leads to my final point. In 2023, enrollment in college has decreased to about 15.8 million students, meaning people are not going to school as often as they were in the past, and this will continue to happen. This raises the question, is starting your own offer the best way to make money in info? And I got to give you the truth, not quite. I know this firsthand because I started one of the most profitable info product companies in the world. In 2021, I maxed myself out as a sales rep for online education companies. I was making $20,000 to $30,000 a month. I was doing really well for myself, but I hit a ceiling. I hit that actual cap that you do as a sales rep. So I decided to launch closercartel.com and kick off my personal brand. Since then, we've done over $5 million and we have organically, without paid traffic, we have maintained a 6-figure average monthly income, which is very unheard of to have that longevity in the info space. Info made me a millionaire and it changed my life. We've trained over 4,000 plus sales reps and we had students make anywhere from $10,000 to even $50,000 a month in sales working with some of the biggest info companies in the world. We encountered every single roadblock imaginable. We learned more than we ever could about info from actually doing it, and we built a successful, consistent business that churns out 6 figures a month. However, unlike a lot of people, having built a successful info company myself, I think that for 99% of people, that there is a better way. It's not all sunshine and rainbows that you think it is to be. While having a large info company sounds amazing, there's a lot of drawbacks that I don't think the average person would want to deal with. One is what we call golden handcuffs. You cannot niche hop even if there are better options. For example, I am the sales and info guy. I've built my brand in that space. That is who I am. That's what people know I do. I cannot go sell a Forex, a trading, a crypto, an e-commerce offer, no matter how lucrative that offer is. I have to stay in my lane or I permanently destroy my brand. Number 2, making content is a constant job. Guys, I don't love making content every day. It is not an enjoyable thing. You have to constantly make new ads, new VSLs, new YouTube videos, reels, short form, tweets, emails, and so forth and so on, all the time if you want to stay alive. And number 3, being public and front facing brings a lot of problems. I have had people slander my name. I've had people post my mom's house online. I've had the craziest things happen from simply having a personal brand and from simply just being outspoken. It rubs people the wrong way and people will attack you out of the blue for no reason other than you being front facing and being successful. Not everyone is cut out for the personal brand front facing style of info, and that is fine. So how can you make just as much money without the downsides that I just mentioned? By studying the gold rush of 1849. On January 24th, 1848, a large gold deposit was found by James W. Marshall at Sutter's Mill in Coloma, California. Once news got out, it spread across the country like wildfire. Over the next decade, nearly 300,000 people flocked to California in hopes of striking it rich. So, did they? Well, for 99% of them, no, they went broke and they were worse off than when they started. This is where the lesson is. While thousands flocked to the streams and mines to search for gold, an entrepreneur named Samuel Brannan opened the first supply stores in California. Instead of going to dig by himself, he purchased all of the prospecting supplies available in San Francisco and resold them at a substantial profit. Thousands of miners were banking on luck to get rich, but Samuel Brannan instead chose to sell shovels. This is where the saying, sell shovels, comes from. And in doing so, he became the wealthiest man in California and one of the wealthiest in the world at the time. This concept is a perfect parallel to what is happening in the digital economy today. Every single day, a new coach pops up trying to make a name for themselves. Most people simply don't have the brand potential it takes to become the next Tai Lopez, the next Iman, the next Tate, or the next Sam Ovens. Some will make it big, but the majority will stay underneath high 6 and 7 figures a year. So how do you sell shovels in the info space instead of being one of the people hoping to strike it rich and relying on luck? The modern equivalent of selling shovels today and taking advantage of this digital gold rush is not by starting your own course or coaching business. It's by white labeling the brands and faces of the few that do make it big and taking a percentage of their growth for helping them make more money. By doing this, you are offer and niche independent, aka you can sell whatever you want at the time, depending on what is the most lucrative in the space. You're behind the scenes and you have privacy, and you can still make hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, live a sick lifestyle, and work with amazing people. You are basically the CEO of an info product company while someone else makes the content. They are the face of the brand, and they are the ones that post online. A few months ago, we saw this opportunity and angle in the info product market and realized nobody else was taking advantage of it. So we spun up a beta program and we launched it under the name of IPO, which was short for Info Product Operator. And let me tell you, when I say I was blown away by the results, it went even better than I could have ever imagined. We sold 10 beta spots in a week only to keep it small and private. We kicked out 3 members for not participating fully, and we worked diligently with the remaining 7 over the span of the next 2 months. Keep in mind, this is a new style of business that has never been done before. These students were either brand new or had been sales reps or SMMA guys in the past. We had no proof of this working other than building our own info company. And regardless, I felt very confident in the gap in the market that we saw. After 60 days, not only did every student ROI on a 5-figure investment and land an info product business as a client, but they were also making $20,000 to $80,000 a month profit. Like Kevin.
Yeah, so I was doing 25K roughly a month before I joined the IPO beta. I already had a background in high ticket sales. I just didn't really know how to go out and acquire customers, how to charge more for like what I actually know how to do and everything. So that's where I started. And then now obviously we're here. So more than doubled revenue already within the program, which is crazy. Not counting startup fees or anything, 60K a month with the startup fees and stuff that we'll do as we're increasing those prices. That can be anywhere from like 70 to 80K a month.
That is disgusting. Or like Jonathan.
So that is around about the time that I got on as a high ticket closer, and I'd been doing reasonably all right. I was kind of capped just before getting into the IPO program at around 16K per month. And I'd been there for about 2 years. So it'd been pretty frustrating, but I wasn't able to scale past that.
So you're doing 16K a month for 2 years. Was that just from closing?
That was from just closing, yeah. Like just being able to be like, yo, I'm working on this specific thing. This is what the data looks like. Here's kind of where the drop-offs are. Like, what are your guys' thoughts on how we can work? And just having guys like sit down with you and work through that problem and then talk it through with some of the other guys as well. I think that's the invaluable part of it. Revenues for myself, where I was making like 16K a month, now we did 30K last month, and then I'll be at 40K this month. So
these students worked extremely hard and they gave it their best. But the reason the IPO model works so well is because it is the most lean, efficient, and profitable way to profit off of the info product space. It's never been done like this before, and it is truly a blue ocean offer, which is very hard to say in the current make money online space. This leads me to the problem with all the other models that you guys have heard about. Having been a sales rep for top tier info product companies and then building our own, I've seen the reality of most of these companies. I've seen behind the scenes. And this gave us a very unique perspective on working in this space, and it made us realize that most people are approaching it wrong. Driving traffic is the single hardest thing to do for any business, let alone the info product space, which relies so heavily on personal brands and content. So that was off the table. Growth operating, which is very popular right now, is helping a creator monetize their audience with a school group or a community and taking 50%. That also wasn't good. Number one, you're working with idiots. No smart, intelligent business owner is going to give you 50% of their company to set up a school group for them. Number two, once you milk that initial audience, their numbers are going to crash and there's no more revenue to get. You have to go get a new client. And number three, it's not super scalable or controllable, meaning you cannot tweak a couple variables and depend on the traffic that is already coming in because you're squeezing and monetizing an audience, which, yeah, you can make money with it, but it's going to die and it's going to stop working. And then you have to hop client to client to client to client. Then you have the build and release offers kind of style that people are pushing. This is basically giving a tech and systems guy a fancy rebrand and charging companies a flat fee to do a service for them. A very manual, tedious service. That's fine, but you have no recurring revenue and you will always be on the hunt for new clients, AKA it's just SMMA rebranded with a specific service offering. And then finally, you have every other single client-facing BizOp model. No matter what the name or the angle that they use to convince you that theirs is the best model, it's all the same. It's unleveraged. It's a commoditized service offering, meaning you don't stand out. There's nothing unique about you. You have too many clients, and no recurring revenue, and it is the same end result. The ideal model instead has recurring revenue. It's extremely profitable. It has a lean, small team and only a few clients, and it allows you to make info guru money without having to become an info guru. We created that model and we validated it with the beta program, and it is called IPO. So what is IPO and how does it work? IPO stands for Info Product Operator, and it takes the best of every single client-facing business model that you have ever seen and pours gasoline on top of it. Every single info product that we have ever seen or we have ever worked with has one main problem, and that is sales and sales process. So instead of running ads or helping people monetize their audiences, we thought, why don't we just help people improve their sales metrics, their sales process, and ROI from the sales side of the company? Simply improving the close rate, the show rate, or the quality of leads on a calendar can be the difference between $100,000 a month and $300,000 a month. Don't believe me? Let's take a look at what we call IPO math and why this is such a beautiful model. If company A is doing $100,000 a month with a $5,000 offer, that means they get 300 booked calls at a 30% show rate. That's 100 taken calls that actually show up on the calendar. They close 20% of those. That's 20 closed deals. These are very standard numbers, which is below KPI. But again, most info product companies are dealing with a sales process issue, and this is sales process. Watch what happens if we simply get the show rate and close rate, two variables, to KPI, which is just the normal standard that it should be at. No new traffic and no new leads, only tweaking their sales process, which is what IPOs do. If we simply fix the show up and close rate and get it to KPI, so 30% goes to 50 or 60% show rate, 20% close rate gets to about 40% close rate. Company A now does $360,000 a month with the same traffic, the same amount of leads, the same offer as when they did $100,000 a month. At Closer Cartel, our average show rate over 4 years is about 60%, and we've closed around 50 to 80% depending on the kind of traffic that we drove to the calendar, whether it was cold or paid or warmed up. It varies a little bit. Also, the companies that we've advised or managed their sales processes, they do similar numbers as well. So we know what good KPIs should be for an info product company that is selling high ticket. And the fact is, nearly every single info company in the world is underperforming on the sales side. It's costing them hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars a year. For example, we just closed a personal IPO client. Yes, that's correct. We are doing this ourselves for another business. They do $30 million a year and they don't have a single sales rep. They don't have a single CRM set up. They don't have anything set up the right way. So once we implement this, they will probably conservatively do another 50% of what they're doing now. So they're going to add $15 to $30 million a year to their top line revenue. And we get a large percentage for making that happen simply from installing the right sales systems and managing the sales team. So how do you get a company to KPI? The same way that there's laws in marketing, right? Like copywriting, having a good headline, sales copy, wording things this way versus that way. There are laws in the sales process. 99% of people don't know them. But if you do, you can take a company from zero to hero basically overnight. These are things that you can implement to bring a company to KPI, right? And these are just some of them. Tech automations, email and SMS notification, proper follow-up, sales team management, hiring more or better salespeople, prep guides, sales assets, funnel friction, either reducing or adding friction, call reviews, having deliverability set up properly, CRM and pipelines, marketing to the sales process being connected the right way, and much more. And unlike a lot of other services, this has a measurable return and can even be diagnosed with simple math. If you told me that we are experiencing a 30% close rate compared to a normal 50% close rate, so we've had a drop in performance of close rate. The first things that come to my mind, because I know the laws of sales process, are the following. Lead quality. So maybe we started paid ads or maybe cold traffic, and people aren't as educated when they get on the call, which means we're not going to close as much. They're not as warm. They're not as educated on the offers they should be. So that's the first thing I would look at. Then I would review sales calls and see if it's a sales team issue. Then I would go check, did we change anything about the offer? Is anything else changed? I would check, are low quality people being booked onto the calendar? So that is a setting problem. I would check my setting team. Hey, are we actually qualifying people? Are we sending enough friction through? Then I would see if there's any friction problems in the funnel or the VSL. Is it too easy for people to book or is it too hard for people to book? And are setters booking anyone they can and they're not actually qualifying and doing their job? What if you told me we're closing 80% of offers made, but only 30% of gross calls booked? I know immediately that that is a quality issue, meaning we're closing 80% when we actually make an offer, meaning someone has money, they're qualified, but we're not getting good quality people on the calendar. So why is that? Well, obviously it's quality. Broke people are being booked on the calendar. So we probably need to add friction to the funnel or to the sales process. We need to make setters qualify better and review their calls. We need to make sure closers aren't just relying on laydowns and they're actually offering to all qualified leads. And maybe take a look at your marketing message because you might be going too broad and attracting the wrong kind of person. As you can see, those are just two examples, but from my experience in running info product companies in sales and marketing, I know when you tell me, oh, this has dropped or this KPI is different or these data points are different, I know the first thing to look at because it's clear-cut math and it's not hypothetical. And once you learn these skills and you learn how to think like an IPO, you become a money printing machine. So How do you get paid as an IPO? Let's talk about money. The IPO revenue model is very simple. You find these companies, you come in, you fix their sales process, their teams and their assets, and you take a percentage of the upside, coupled with a flat upfront fee for your time. So if we took 10% on getting company A in the example previous from $100,000 to $360,000 a month, we would be making $36,000 a month profit. But what if you get them to that level and then they fire you, right? That's the first thing you're thinking. Well, that's the beauty of IPO. You are not a commodity like you would be as an agency or a media buyer or an editor or whatever the different services are. If they fire you, their numbers will drop back down to what they were before. There is a reason they didn't have these systems in place. There's a reason they were not at KPI. It's because most people are clueless about this. So once you crush it for a client and you manage the team and the process ongoing for as long as the company wants to make money. Also, the time required to get results like this is very front loaded. So the setup, the tech setup, the CRM, the hiring of the sales team, that's all very front heavy. And then you can pretty much coast, which sounds too good to be true, but it's just the nature of this business model. Once you set up the CRM, the automated email flows, the tech, and the sales processes, you simply make sure all is smooth sailing and you keep an eye on KPI and data. Change or fix what is needed and then go about your day. IPO is the most lean, efficient, and profitable business model I have ever seen, and in my opinion, it is the best way to cash in on the info product space. You crush it for your clients, you're paid very well, and you get to work with super cool people. I can't publicly disclose who my personal IPO client is, but all of you know who he is. He is an absolute killer. He's a very cool guy, and he's actually someone that I want to be friends with outside of business. So now I get to work with this guy, I get to make him millions of dollars, and I get to in turn make millions for myself and work with people that I would want to hang out with even if we weren't doing business together.
My name is Garrett. Joined the IPO beta group quite recently. One of the best things about it is beforehand I was running a agency and I was also closing. The beauty of being IPO is I don't have to work with so many clients nowadays to make money. I don't have to hop on 30, 40 sales calls a month to make money. I work with right now 2 clients, one of them projecting to make me alone, just one client, 15 grand in a month. And sometimes the money that is coming in from IPO feels pretty passive almost. So like I work a lot during like the week. I'm able to work wherever I want from my laptop, my phone, whatever it may be. And some weekends, like this past weekend, I didn't do anything work-wise. I was on a little vacation and I made $3,000 passively without lifting my finger just from doing this IPO stuff.
So the question is, how can you become an IPO? First off, I want to thank you guys for watching this far, and I hope that this opportunity that you're seeing makes sense because we are incredibly excited about the IPO model. If you're still watching, I'm going to assume that you're interested in learning more about IPO and how to make a killing working with only 2 to 3 info clients. Until now, we've only been working with the beta students from our test launch. And unlike other info companies and even Closer Cartel, IPO is going to be an extremely private and selective program, meaning we will not water down the space by giving away secrets and information in order to sell more spots inside of IPO. We are not going to turn the current blue ocean red and saturate it with all these little 18-year-old kids that want to make money online. IPO will be treated like a secret organization working together to change the lives of everyone inside. So if you're interested in learning exactly how to take an info company from average to amazing, from 6 figures to 7, and how to make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year by working with minimal clients and living a fantastic lifestyle, this is what you get if you are accepted into the IPO public launch. You get access to the IPO program. Guys, this program is as comprehensive as it can be. And I want to make a note. It is not a fluff-filled, cinematic, beautiful free training. It is not a cinematic, beautiful, fluff-filled training. It is to the point, short, concise videos to get you results because that's all that matters. So we cover everything from the basics of the IPO business model to info product scaling, systems and operations, sales process, and every other crucial part of this business. So everything from funnel templates, sales assets templates, automation and system plug and plays, sales training, copywriting, and more is in the actual course itself. Then you get live coaching with industry experts. You get a call with me. You get a call with my COO, who was actually the COO of IPO, Closify, my software company, and Closer Cartel on systems, processes, and tech setup. This guy charges $15,000 to $20,000 simply for companies to hire him and set up CRMs and processes for him because he is so good. And we're giving you all of his secret sauce inside the program and on a live call. Then you get a call with my sales manager and the sales manager of several other multi-million-dollar info product companies. This individual makes $40,000 to $50,000 a month from managing the sales processes of some very large brands that you know of. Next, you get a call with our CMO, who also works with more multi-7-figure info product companies other than just us. He writes all of my assets, all of my emails, all of my copy, and he is a very, very, very high level marketer. And we are going to be adding more coaches over time to add as much value as we can to you guys. Next, you get access to the private IPO mastermind. This is where every student inside gets access to a 24/7 live group chat. You're all in a group together so that you can network, you can work together, you can maybe get business deals together, and everyone is very, very, very tight knit, and it is an amazing culture. Next, we're going to be throwing in-person IPO events because this is not a low ticket, little kid kind of program. This is for very advanced people. So we have the headway to be able to throw awesome in-person events, and I'd love to meet all of you in person. The next thing we've added is what we call the IPO network and partners. These are the unfair advantages that I have acquired over years of being in this business. So if you have an ad account go down, if you have an Instagram account get deleted, if you have any of these little gray area issues that sometimes you have to deal with when you're at the top of this business, we are giving you access to all of my connections, all of our partners, and all the trusted vendors that we work with for you and your clients so that you have no headaches. Next, we're giving you the ability to hire sales reps from Closer Cartel free of charge. So you get a client, oh, I need sales reps. What do? You can pull them right out of our program for free, and you can trust that they're already trained by us. That way you don't have to go hire and do all this recruiting of sales reps on your own. We're also going to be giving you discounted access to hiring sales reps on our software platform, Closify, just as another avenue of getting that, plus much more. Our goal was to create the most valuable offering that we possibly could, and we will be adding coaches and content regularly to keep up with the fast-changing info space for you guys. IPO is a 100% results-focused program. I don't care about anything else other than you guys making money. No fluff, no like hypothetical stuff. It is very, very clear cut. It is black and white. This is what you do to make money. Nothing else matters. And if you invest with us, I want you to not only ROI as quickly as possible, but I also want you to print more money than you previously thought was possible in your life. IPO is simply math. We will show you the exact type of client to work with, how to craft the perfect offer and land that first client, how to get a killer case study, and how to use that case study to land as many clients as you want for the rest of your life, how to get insane results for them, and how to make $30,000 to $100,000 a month or more from this business model. Now, like I said, IPO is not easy to get into. This is not a mass market info offer. You must pass the application process, and then you will also be deemed to be a good fit on your intro call with our team. We'll probably turn away 50% of the people that apply because we want every single person to be a perfect fit, not only for this business model, but for the community and the culture inside. So if you're interested in applying, click the button below this video and book a call with our team. This is simply a call to see if you're a good fit and if we can help you build a profitable online info product business. The info product space is only growing, and I am already getting DMs from business owners asking to hire IPOs. So we will be giving you guys clients as well on top of everything else that you're receiving. So if you're a former sales rep, SMMA owner, or any of the other growth biz ops, or you simply just want to start a highly profitable business, IPO is the most lean, efficient, and clear path to making 6 figures a month. You can try it yourself like most people do, or you can invest into your future, have us break down your client's business live and tell you exactly what to do so there will never be any guesswork, and start earning real cash within the next 30 to 90 days. Click below, book a call, and join IPO, and let's get you making serious money instead of playing in the little leagues like everybody else. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you inside.